So I wanted to make a video um, about an idea I had. And the idea I had is there should really be like a classification system for tiers of psychopathy that both account for intensity of psychopathy and intelligence combined. Because those things are highly predictive of how a person with psychopathy will behave. Antisocial personality disorder, whatever you want to call it. Um, I'm going to define psychopathy or antisocial personality disorder as a pattern of callousness, exploitativeness, um, a Machiavellian personality. These are people who feel nothing, they don't have empathy, um, everything they do is only in consideration of what they want and need. They can be highly controlling, they can be highly charming, or they might not be. Again, like if you look at the checklist of psychopathy or sociopathy, a lot of the traits of it may or may not be present depending on the intelligence level of the psychopath, sociopathic person. Lower intelligence people, the parts about being charming and manipulative, they're usually not. And that's because they are too limited and intellectually handicapped to do those things. The charm nature, the charming, manipulative characteristics are found in the more intelligent ones. Statistically, antisocial personalities are overrepresented amongst the poorest people and the wealthiest people, amongst the lowest intelligence people and the highest intelligence people. The middle ground of wealth and intelligence tend to be more moderate in rates of psychopathy and sociopathy. I think even that characterization is not entirely true. Instead, what I think we're observing is an interaction between intelligence and psychopathic traits. Okay. And the reason it's significant is many normies may pass a psychopathic inventory for questions like, I like to steal, I like to hurt people, if somebody gets in my way, I eliminate them. You know, they may pass on all those questions, but it's not because they wouldn't do those things. It's because they're smart enough to know they don't have enough power to get away with it. But they absolutely would if they could, right? And that's a huge difference from somebody where they would literally feel bad hurting people and stealing, right? And I think this is exactly why it seems like the middle stratas have lower psychopathy. They really don't. They just have enough people smart enough to know their station, that they cannot do these things and get away with it. And the reason we see more overtly psychopathic behavior in the lower classes, economic and intelligence, is they are too stupid to make basic plans. So people in this bracket, the 85 IQ bracket, the very low income bracket, if they're mad, they'll just punch you. If they're angry, they'll just do anything impulsively. If they see something, they'll steal it, right? They can't make plans even basically. That's a characteristic of an IQ of 85. They live in the moment like children and pets, right? And even though they can't get away with it, they're just too dumb to make plans. So their antisocial natures, they cannot inhibit them or mask them. At about 100 IQ, you can. So you could like secretly be super callous, super lacking in empathy, super exploitative. But because you're aware you don't have the means to get away with the things you would do, you don't do them. This person is significant in the sense, should an opportunity arise to do harm, they will take it very easily and feel nothing, right? And when we get up to like the 130 plus range, the gifted category of psychopaths, these people also act more. but they also have the highest ability to control information, to control opinions, to control minds. They are much better at detecting nuances in how they're perceived and masking as a pro-social person. I made a video highlighting the case of Christiana Elser, who's obviously guilty of stealing for fun despite being an extremely wealthy, privileged woman. But because her husband's a hacker, I'm sorry, a tech security guy, they were able to arrange through their connections in the industry and the elites, very likely, AI videos exonerating her. They're literally gaslighting us, the audience. This woman stealing the package is not her when it is obviously her. She has a very unique look, right? Every detail is her. And they're gaslighting us because the person hosting this story is a 1.3 million follower connected elite account. So he's probably doing a solid for his friends here. Like, can you believe they dared try to treat my friend like a common poor? And she stole packages and they thought she would have to face criminal charges for that? No, it was her. It's obviously her. It's and it really it's instructive of how high IQ psychopaths think. Like they can in plain daylight steal a package. It's on the ring cam. The cop is telling you, "We see you, and we also have corroborating videos of your car driving to the house. We don't see you driving up to the house, but we see you driving in the direction of the house at the exact same time the package was stolen." And they will turn around and gaslight you and say that you're oppressing me, and they'll get away with it. They'll get their ass liquor high IQ psychopath friends to make an AI video, and they'll pay someone to be a witness, and then they'll make the entire police department apologize and compliment them. Literally compliment them. Good work. That is why high IQ psychopaths operate more because they live their lives the opposite of the low IQ psychopath. The low IQ psychopath lives in a state of impulsive self destruction and destruction to others. They're just like a burden purely. Um, I don't want you think I'm saying poor people are a burden or low intelligence people. They're a burden because they have no skills and they are also um extremely interpersonally exploitative, dangerous, lacking consciousness or empathy. And it's not that being low intelligence makes you a bad citizen because most people who are low intelligence are not psychopaths and they feel things, they get sad, they empathize, they feel bad if they hurt people, they do jobs, they're just like everybody else. They just have trouble learning things. But if you're a psychopath and you're also intellectually handicapped, which most of them are, then you are just a pure burden. You have no skills, you have no talents, you don't do anything, you don't work. You just basically hurt everyone, the entire society. So if the low IQ psychopath lives like that, the high IQ psychopath lives the opposite. They spend their entire lives building a careful image of being a great person, of being a highly skilled person. They usually have some kind of training, such as this guy, tech security, whatever she does at her finance job, I guess just collect checks and pretend to do something like Epstein did. Um, Being a physician, being a lawyer, they have some kind of skills where it's like, oh, you're a very high functioning member of society. And they usually can absolutely mime the appearance of prosociality. But underneath this is a performance of just trying to make connections, get power, to be in a position to control everything, other people, to get away with evil, right? And their capacity, if they're good at it, their capacity to do this is so extreme that they will be recognized as the greatest members of a society, like these people, right? So even though she's a loathsome little criminal, at the lowest one, acting like an IQ 85 impulsive criminal, they have enough game, skill, and connections between them because that's all high IQ psychopaths do is try to make connections so they can do evil better and better and better to make the world inverse, completely inverse of reality. And the cops and the police are not only apologizing, but complimenting how great they are. That is the difference between a high IQ psychopath and a low IQ psychopath. The It's almost worse that the high IQ psychopath does have talents and abilities, and so superficially seems like a valuable member of society. Because given their high IQ psychopaths, they leverage that position to just do more long term, worse, bigger scale evil. And the people in the middle, of which people who engage in and behave psychopathic ways are lowest, there's a large segment of transactional people where they have the exact same things the stupid one does and the smart one with connections does. But because of their middle ground station, they inhibit themselves and pretend and pretend and pretend their whole lives. And they only act when they know they can get away with it, which is not common for people like this, right? So you won't see them in prison and like doing really antisocial things impulsively, like the IQ 85 guy. And you won't see them doing like the rich people with the higher IQ psychopathy, where they'll do a lot of things like impulsive criminality, but they have the manipulation game to make reality spin on its head. And the police are apologizing to you and complimenting you. But if they are in a situation where they think they can get away with it, like social breakdown, calculated social breakdown, they will take the opportunity and feel nothing. This is what makes them different from non-psychopathic middle road people, is those people, even if they could do evil, they would not do it. They would feel bad. It would make them feel unpleasant to be doing evil acts like this. These people don't have that. They're transactional. All psychopaths are transactional, but transactional is definitive of the middle intelligence and power group, because um the main reason they don't bomb these inventories and have more bad behavior is the transactional nature of their actions. What they do and what they get is being pro-social works more for them, so they just mime it and pretend, and maybe they do little things to people around them or in the world, but they are not in a position to do a lot of harm because of the fact it doesn't work for them. But unlike non-psychopathic people, if they can, they will, and they will feel nothing, nothing at all. I guess you could say middle ground people maybe are lower in psychopathy, since impulsiveness and thrill seeking, these things are all features. And if they can inhibit themselves so well, then they might be just lower in these traits. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is a lot of the core psychopathic traits are found in these people in the strata. They're just better at evaluating and making plans and realizing, I can't steal, I can't hit you, I can't do any of these things that I would do if I could, right? And stupid people who are psychopathic just are constantly being violent, impulsively, going to jail over and over, going to prison. They're stupider than even the cops, so it's this kind of person's easy for the cops to catch. They really can't deceive very well, you know. Yeah. So I feel like we should make an inventory of human personality that modifies degree of psychopathy and intelligence, because that will determine a lot about how they behave, what you can expect of them. But I don't think we will, because it would too obviously reveal most of our elites are psychopaths, and they don't want us figuring that out. That they literally made a symbol of a trust fund boy with psychopathy named Baphomet as their symbol. And the duality they see in themselves, the appearance of being good, the appearance of being pro-social, the appearance of being high achieving members of society, exists alongside a deep evil, where they enjoy stealing packages for fun, raping little kids, things like this. And they don't want you figuring that out. So I don't see this happening anytime soon. That's um, the way people with these kind of personalities express it is modified extensively by intelligence, which determines capacity to put up an illusion of being pro-social, in fact, leaders of society. In fact, they could steal a package in front of your face and the narrative will be they're a victim. Yep.